wasn't the greatest of finals, if I'm being totally honest. I think, looking at all 3 European finals, they weren't, that great, to be fair, but it's all about winning on the day. Sometimes, you take not playing great and actually winning the trophy, and I thought that's what City did. I think if you look at, the team as a whole, not many players probably got out above 6 out of 10. I thought John Stones was absolutely outstanding. I thought Diaz was outstanding, but you even heard from Jack Grealish when he spoke after the game that he didn't have a good game, and he said the same about a lot of them, to be fair, not really showing up. But at the end of the day, it's a fantastic victory, a fantastic win, fantastic achievement, and I'm sure you don't care how you win finals as long as you win them.
Paul, I mean, you're just the man I want to ask about this, because everyone's trying to compare the two teams, the Man United 1999 team, and I know you weren't in that particular team, but you, when I think back to Man United, it's you and Roy Keane, two box-to-box midfield players who could do everything. How would you play now against Man City's midfield, and what was the problems you had? Because the rules have changed. You can't leave your foot in anymore. You know, it's a different type of midfield proposition you're facing every week.
I think, when you kind of look at, listen, obviously they're taking tackling out of the game, but I think when you look at the likes, people ask me this question and they say, well, because I was a tough tackling midfielder, and so was Roy Keane, but we had a lot more to our game than that. We weren't just tough, we could pass, we could create, we could score goals. Yeah. So there wasn't a lot of different, obviously the main part of our game was tackling and intimidating the opposing players, but listen, it'd be a good question, Dino.
You could do everything, like you said. I thought you could do like Steven Gerrard's in that sort of class as well. You could actually pass, score, tackle, run. There was no way when you lined up for the kickoff. How are you going to beat Paul Ince today? Because he's a better footballer than you. He's more determined than you, and he can run further than you.
Yeah, I'm not saying to me. I'm just saying someone like Roy Keane, who I played with for 4, 5, 6 years at United, and he was absolutely world class. And you think, nowadays, I think the game's changed. When you kind of look at, and you mentioned the word box to box. Nowadays they've got designated positions. You've got a 4, you've got a 6, you've got an 8. People just like to get forward like Gundogan, and people like Rudiger who just want to sit and control the game. So the game's changed in that way. It's very rarely you get box to box players, but that midfield, with Kevin De Bruyne in there, is a formidable midfield. And people talk about the United 99 team, even compared to our team. I actually thought our team was obviously better than the 99 team. That's not because I was in it, but if you look at the people who played in it, I thought we had a better team. Unfortunately, the rules didn't allow us to compete in the Champions League because it was a foreign rule where someone like, Peter Schmeichel couldn't play, Mark Hughes couldn't play, Giggsy couldn't play, so Welsh. So it's hard to define, but first and foremost, Pep, I think what he's done, the way he's adapted the team, the way he's changed the team, John Stones, for me, and I find it weird to say that he's probably one of the best defenders in Europe and also one of the best midfield players in Europe. Because it was unbelievable, John Stones. And I think 2 years ago, he probably wasn't even considered to be playing because Diaz and Laporte were playing, but now he's come in and he's been absolutely sensational the last couple of months. So, it's a fantastic achievement. Manchester United have done it and Manchester City have done it. So, great achievement. It was a bit strange for me watching it, obviously, because one part of me was wanting Inter to win, and the other part wanted obviously the English team to win. So, it was a bit strange watching the game Saturday night.
Paul, I've been following you since you went to Reading, been following the results and what's happened, and you went into Reading and transformed the club. Actually, they were really struggling, and you've had no money to spend, and I think there was an embargo on you. I might be wrong.
No, you're
right.
And
you've done a great job. And then right at the end, when the club gets fined, you end up leaving the club, which I thought was ridiculous. Are you going to carry on in management? Have you got anything lined up?
Listen, I think it was disappointing. Not so much last season, but the season that I came in before in February when they were going down, and I managed to save them. The season before, I knew we had 6 points pending if we broke the FFP rules, and that came at a really bad time for us. We had an embargo. We had 9 first-team players out. And the remit was to stay in the league. As far as I was concerned, that's what we were doing until the 6 points came in March, and then all of a sudden, you lose your job, and it's tough to take, but football doesn't surprise you anymore. You just got to take a break, try and get my handicap down, and.
I don't think your reputation's been damaged, Paul. I think everyone can see from the outside what you've done for the club. And
I think for me, Dino, the most, because you forget. I mean, I didn't manage for 7 years since I left Blackpool, so it was kind of, do I want to get back into it? Do I not? But football's in your blood; it's your passion, and to have the opportunities to manage Reading in the Championship, was something that I wanted to do. So I've got the taste for it again, Dino. As I say, I believe my reputation's not been harmed. And I'm looking for the next opportunity whenever that arises, Dino.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Hey, Paul, good luck with whatever it is your next move. We wish you the best of luck with it. Thanks for coming on as well and chatting to us this morning. It's lovely to hear from you.
Thanks, Paul.
Welcome, Laura. Thanks, Dino. Take care, mate.
There you go, Paul Ince on The Breakfast Show this morning. That was the end. That was a brilliant show. Ali's all right, by the way. We just lost his microphone. Technology has not been our friend today.
You don't think he's got injured doing that stretch?
I think he might.
He's trying to get his hands above his head.
He's still doing a couple more yoga poses to try and do it.
Thanks for having me on anyway.
He is still here, but he was there in spirit for the last couple of sections. He'll be back tomorrow with me from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Dino, thank you very much. You are brilliant. Well done. Everyone's going on Slimming World now, by the way.
Are they?
Loads of messages about it. Right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow from 6. Up next, Jim White, Simon Jordan, Martin Keown. It's 10 a.m.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.